if you're dealing with this and they kind of disappear on you, or they're kind of hot and cold, or you're kind of trying to put them into the rotation and they're not fitting in, or they seem distracted. If she's hot and cold, shows up and disappears, and or never seems to be pushing you towards an agenda, she's fucking someone or someone's else as well. That's something you need. I mean, first of all, always assume she's a slut. Always assume she's already seeing or having sex with somebody when you meet her, and she is, especially for adults. You know, you're not 18. It's not anything special at that point. It's just like a habit. So she's seeing one or two other guys intimately. They're not just hanging out so he can spend money. She's fucking someone else and is distracted. And you'll see this consistently, even for good players, especially in that beginner intermediate where they're just starting to run rotations. They'll have trouble like getting the girl over, or, you know, but she'll come eventually, and she might come on the wrong night, or she might reach out after she's been out on a date. But again, he can't really predict it. She's kind of flaky, which is, you know, girl world. But if she's hot and cold, kind of hard to get a hold of, she comes and goes, shows up and disappears, and or never seems to be pushing towards an agenda. And that's usually one of, you know, if you've been banging for like 10, 12 weeks and she doesn't, you know, all girls will give you the free 12-week trial. You can test drive the pussy for 12 weeks, and then she's going to ask for a commitment. Then she's hot or cold, and she shows up and disappears. I'm getting distracted if I see messages. I can't think two thoughts at one time, but never seems to be at 12 weeks. Usually they'll say, "Hey, what are we?" I mean, even if they don't really want a boyfriend, even if they don't really want you to be their boyfriend, I think they're almost compelled to do this. Bunny would be able to answer that question better. I mean, I don't know if there's like an internal compass, or they even if they're not that interested in you. But again, if she's fucking, she will not pull this up. She'll just keep rolling. She's seeing you and some other guys, and that's completely fine. I mean, that's part of the deal. That's part of if you're going to run rotations, you can't expect her to be exclusive and you're not. It just doesn't work. But you should be aware that if you're kind of having trouble with logistics, it's because they're seeing other men and they're trying to juggle. And they're very good about being polite about not throwing one man in front of another guy, or they don't know how they'll react. You'll probably react better than most, but they know there's always some potential for anger or violence, and she may enjoy being around you for the time she's around you. She also enjoys being around him. Maybe he has more potential for being a boyfriend. But that's a real deal. If a girl has like kind of flaky, off kilter behavior, especially if you're used to running a lot of women, she's seeing other people too, and that will, you know, tend to keep her distracted. And she won't be that dependent, because she's also managing